Serbia. Though the U.S. Mint did not actually make any coins for Serbia, in 1917 the Providence Mint in the United States was contracted to make the small set of coins for Serbia. And so there they are. This is the 5 para. That actually seems to be the hardest one to get. There's that kind of almost Russian-looking two-headed eagle. Pretty interesting, huh? And then the 10 and the 20 are somewhat easier to find. P-A-R-A. It doesn't look like it, but it is. You can see those same two-headed eagle. And then the 20 para. And the same two-headed eagle. So that, along with Poland, it's kind of interesting to see some Eastern European coins that we did, but only in the earlier part of the 20th century. Now, moving to the next country in the alphabet, Siam. We made these 1 batong pieces for them. Apparently, some of these are not made in the U.S. Mint, the Philippines. This is their first hold coin that they ever made for foreign use. But I have to be a little bit suspicious. One of the ways to know is that I've seen some of these not from America, and the way to know is that the flame around the hole isn't quite so broad, and the little snail shell there at the bottom is a little bit smaller. On the other side is this sort of swirling pattern, and those weird looking symbols include the year, which, like many other countries, has its own calendar, 2461 according to the Siamese or Thailandese calendar. Siam is what the country was called when these coins were made for it, but Siam is just what now is known as Thailand. So we made these couple of coins, 1918, maybe some in 1919. So I can't even be sure both of these are American, but that seems to be how they look. This, unfortunately, is one country I probably know the least about of all the countries we made coins for. Finally, one more category was Syria. Now with Syria, we did 2 things. First, we made some simple little silver coins for them. And these turn this way. So that's a 25 piastra in 1947. Okay, or that's 1366. Those things look like 7s are really 6s. The 3 has a long tail, but you can see if you just turn it sideways and ignore the little tail, that still looks like a 3. And the 1 is a 1, so 1366. And the other one, the 9, is just the same, so 19. And then the backwards Z is like a 4. 1940, and it turns out the thing that looks like a Y stands for 7. So they had it in both the American or English, the normal letters that we use in the normal year, as well as the anyway, this is a wow, just a big circle and a dot. It doesn't look like much to most people, but the circle is a 5 and the dot is a 0, so that's 50 piastras. And there in the lower corners, left and right, you can see the 1366 on this side and the 1947 on this side. However, a few years later, we got into making gold coins for them. This is the ½ pound and this is the 1 pound. The design is virtually identical. And as you see, now 1, 9, and then the circle is a 5 and the dot, so that's 1950. Or in the other case, the 1, and then Again, the next thing is like a 3 with a long tail. It's hard to see the 3 though on this one. And then there's a 7, which is really 6, and then the 9. The 9 just looks like a 9 after all. So 1369. The bird, of course, is a very important national symbol of the Syria. This is the back side. The half pound and the back side of the pound. So what's kind of interesting about these along with the gold weights for Saudi Arabia are the only gold anything to be made by the U.S. Mint after 1933. Now the Arabic things, they're sometimes called weights or ingots or whatever, because they're, though they're minted like coins and even have a reeded edge like a coin, they're strictly speaking not exactly coins. But these are actual full-blown bona fide coins. And between those two Arabic discs and these two gold coins, these are the last gold coins struck in the U.S. Mint for circulation somewhere. And it's these right here. It says 1950. I think they were actually struck sometime in 1951 as far as chronologically. So apparently, though, they had agreed to do this, or someone had agreed to, and then at the Mint they said, or the Treasury, or somebody said, no, you weren't supposed to do that, but we'll make this one time because we agreed to this. But after this, they're going to have to go somewhere else if they want more of these things made. Well, we'll fulfill the original order. They really didn't want to mint gold anymore. But for this one extraordinary and exceptional case, they minted bona fide gold coins. And it is these, not the ridiculously rare and expensive 1933 $10 and $20 gold piece, that are actually the last gold coins struck at the U.S. Mint for circulation. These are circulation in Syria, not the U.S. So that's kind of interesting. It may have had something to do with running a pipeline through Syria to the shipping lanes of the time. So there is Syria, and that gets us almost all the way up through the alphabet here. We're almost done. There's all our coins.